And my life as a D1 football recruit. I woke up at around 4:15 to get ready for my first swim practice. I threw on an outfit quickly because I was in a rush. I just wore these shorts and this White Fox sweatshirt. Then I headed downstairs and had 2 quick muffins before heading out the door. I filled up my water, I packed my bag, grabbed my keys, and it was time to head out the door. At this point, it was probably around 4:35, and I had to be at practice at 4:45, so I was moving pretty quick. You might be wondering why I swim. Well, that's what I like to do in the off season. It was around 4:45 when I got there. I set my wet bag down, and it was time to get in my first practice of the day. Here's the sunrise after. It's about 6:30. And I was so happy to be done. Until later. The first stop I made was Chick-fil-A. Then I had to get gas. Here's me looking literally crazy. Lastly, I had to stop at Dunkin' to get my favorite coffee. Then I had to get ready for school. I showered and then I did my skincare. Here are all my products. Then I got dressed, put on some fragrance, got my iPad, got my headphones, and it was time to head out the door. I also threw on this NYU sweatshirt, and now it's time for school. Here's me walking in. It has been disgusting here all week, constantly raining, and just like gross. First period, I had math. Then second period, I had AP Huge, which was a study hall because we already had our exam. Then it was time for break. I got donuts and a Powerade. Then I had study hall and I watched The Good American Family, and I finished it again for the second. Then it was time for advisee. Here are my friends. This was moments before we got in trouble for no reason. After this point, I forgot to record the rest of the day of school, but I had lunch and then biology. Then I headed on over to Starbucks to do some homework before I had to go to my second practice. I studied for my bio retake, which is tomorrow, and then it was time to go back to swim. Devastating. It is currently 9:55 and I am exhausted editing this, so I'm kind of impressed with myself. Today we had to go in through this weird entrance because the other door was locked, but it was around 5:15. It was time to activate and then swim. You're about to see me post-practice shaking in my boots. It was so hard. I'm so dead. Here's me and Jocelyn being so dead. And then I marched on out because it was my last practice of the day. I was so happy. And I headed on home. As soon as I got home, I dropped my bags down and it was time to eat dinner. I was starving. I had some pasta. And then I had a chipwich. And then I showered and I worked on some homework. Good night, guys.